Hello my motor enthusiasts. You're tuned into F1 Motor Fever podcast.
Greetings, Enzo. Shall we delve into the thrills of the Hungarian Grand Prix?
Indeed, we should. A real drama unfolded with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri at McLaren, didn't it?
Absolutely, Enzo Watts. Norris was initially ahead, wasn't he?
Yes, he was running second for most of the race, right behind Piastri. But after their pit stops, the tables turned.
That must have caused quite the stir within the team.
It did. McLaren asked Norris to let Piastri pass in the final laps, sparking some tense radio exchanges.
And how did Norris take it after the race?
He's reflective now. Admits he'd probably handle it differently if given another chance. They've all had a good talk and cleared the air.
Good on them. And Piastri, quite a milestone for him winning his first Grand Prix.
Indeed, a fantastic achievement. He's all smiles but remains committed to pushing harder. Quite the strong atmosphere in the McLaren camp, I'd say.
Absolutely, and with the Belgian Grand Prix on the horizon, it sounds like both drivers are gearing up for more challenges.
They sure are. They're not letting anything slow down their momentum. Hello everyone, I'm Enzo, your guide to all things motorsport, and you're tuned into F1 Motor Fever podcast. Joining me today, as always, is the eloquent Mr. William. How are you today?
Doing splendidly, Enzo. Excited to dive into today's thrilling discussions with you and our listeners.
Fantastic. And to all you listeners out there, remember, we broadcast daily right here on F1 Motor Fever podcast. If you love what we do, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop us a comment, and don't forget to share with your friends and family. Your support keeps our engines running.
Absolutely, and it really does mean the world to us, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And speaking of things that mean the world to us, I can't believe the developments from the recent Grand Prix. You won't believe what I'm about to reveal. Stick around.
Oh, this I've got to hear. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Yes, keep it locked right here because we're about to go full throttle. Reflecting on the Hungarian Grand Prix, Lando Norris admitted he could have approached the late race team orders differently. Quite an open acknowledgement from him, don't you think?
Indeed, it shows a level of maturity. He mentioned that after losing the lead at the start, the team decided to pit him earlier than Piastri, which initially moved him ahead.
Yes, and that decision led to some nail-biting moments on the track. McLaren was quick to step in, weren't they? They assured Piastri, trying to keep his hopes up as they requested Norris to switch positions back.
That must have been a tense moment for both drivers. Ultimately, Norris did step aside, allowing Piastri to take his first Grand Prix win. A significant moment for him.
Absolutely, and Norris has been reflective. He acknowledged the team's decision and discussed how crucial their post-race talks were. He mentioned that everything's clear after their discussion, ready to tackle the upcoming races.
Speaking of upcoming races, Norris is now looking ahead to Spa-Francorchamps. He seems optimistic about his and the team's form, doesn't he?
He does. Despite being 76 points behind the championship leader, Max Verstappen, Norris feels they're in good shape. It's all about maintaining that momentum now.
It'll be interesting to see how this clarity and focus translate into their performance in the next races.
Moving over to the Red Bull camp, it seems they still hold a significant pace advantage. Max Verstappen, despite not having the best outing last weekend, was extremely close to pole position, just 0.04 of a second off. That alone could have drastically changed the race outcome.
That's true. The margins are incredibly slim at the top, aren't they? It goes to show how quickly things can swing in Formula One. But with that said, maintaining momentum in this sport is notoriously challenging.
Exactly, and while McLaren is riding high now, the real test will be their consistency. The momentum is there, but as we know, in Formula One, fortunes can shift dramatically and without much warning.
It's a precarious balance, indeed. Speaking of balance, Oscar Piastri seems to be handling his victory quite maturely. He's not letting the win get to his head, focusing instead on continuous improvement, aiming for what he calls perfect races.
That's commendable, yet one wonders if striving for perfection might set an unrealistic bar, especially in such a competitive and variable environment as Formula One.
Possibly, but it's that drive that often pushes drivers to excel, isn't it? On another note, it seems the atmosphere within McLaren is quite positive currently. Piastri mentioned some team bonding. Apparently, he and Norris played Monopoly on their journey back from Hungary.
It's heartening to hear about the camaraderie, especially after a tense race. However, such situations can sometimes mask underlying issues. If not handled carefully, these could surface later in the season when the pressure mounts.
Indeed, it's a fine line between team harmony and competitive tension. Hopefully, their internal debriefs and relaxed off-track interactions will fortify their team dynamics rather than lead to complacency or hidden conflicts.
Shifting focus slightly, Christian Horner has expressed some optimism for Sergio Perez after the Hungarian Grand Prix. He's hopeful that Perez will draw confidence from the race, but there's a caveat. Horner pointed out that inconsistency in performance is something that urgently needs addressing.
Consistency really is the cornerstone of success in Formula One, isn't it? It's not just about one good race, it's about maintaining that level throughout the season.
Absolutely, and that ties in with what we've seen across the board. Teams and drivers are continuously adjusting, learning from each race, and ideally improving. But the flip side is the pressure it puts on drivers like Perez, who are expected to deliver consistently high results.
It's a tough environment. Every driver is under the microscope, their every move analyzed and critiqued. Speaking of scrutiny, there's been quite a bit of debate around Norris's decision to let Piastri pass in Budapest. What's your take on that?
It's a fascinating discussion. On one hand, team orders are part of the strategic nature of the sport. On the other, every driver has that innate desire to win. Norris's decision could be seen as a team player move, but it also brings up questions about personal ambition and team dynamics.
Indeed, and these are the nuances that make Formula One so intriguing. It's not just about the fastest car or the best driver, it's about how all these elements combine on and off the track.
As we edge closer to the conclusion of today's episode, it's clear that the dynamics within teams, the pressure on drivers, and the strategic decisions made during races are all pivotal. These factors not only influence the outcome of a single race, but also shape the trajectory of the championship.
And as the season progresses, it will be interesting to see how these strategies unfold and how teams manage the internal dynamics and external pressures.
William, what's the word on the street, internet-wise?
Right, let's have a butcher's at some of the latest chatter from the world of Formula One. There's a juicy comment from Lewis Hamilton about Lando Norris' remarks in the cool-down room. He mentioned, quote, "It didn't bother me, no. Look, I'm nearly 40 years old, so I remember being in my mid-20s. It's an age thing, and I don't take it personally," unquote.
Interesting perspective from Hamilton there. What's the public saying about it?
Quite a lot being said, actually. Let's see. A user by the name of Yugi Reina remarked, quote, "Man started to pour wisdom lately," unquote. Then there's Venue TV, adding a nostalgic note with, quote, "Seb era," unquote.
Reminiscing about Vettel's time, are they?
Indeed. And it gets deeper. J.B. Punt for 20 chimed in, quote, "Loved Schumacher at first, then hated him, and eventually liked him again once the dominance was over. Same with Hammy. He's aged really well. Pure class now," unquote.
That's the cycle of sports fans for you, isn't it? Anything more?
Yes, a few users touched on Max Verstappen's circle. Migrating Pigeon mentioned, quote, "Man surrounded by Jos Verstappen, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko. His father-in-law is Nelson Piquet. That's a lot of challenging personalities in your inner circle," unquote. And then, Grebo the cat elaborated on why they might be seen as controversial, mentioning past issues with each.
Blimey, the language there's a bit ripe. If I read that out, we might lose our sponsors.
Absolutely, it's a bit of a minefield. But it's fascinating to see fans dissect these personalities, understanding the impact they might have on a driver like Verstappen.
Certainly adds a layer of complexity to the sport, doesn't it? Anything else catching your eye?
Well, there's a bit of reflection on the evolution of fans' perception of drivers. Snoo Tomatoes 464 reflected, quote, "Really started to dislike Hamilton during those dominant Mercedes years and thought he came across arrogant at times too. A big game changer for me was how magnanimous he was in defeat at Abu Dhabi 2021, unquote.
Shows you how moments of grace can turn public opinion around. Thanks for sharing that, William. It looks like the discussion around these drivers is as heated as ever. Thanks for tuning into F1 Motor Fever podcast today. We've sliced and diced the dynamics of Formula One teams and the pressures drivers face each race. It's been marvelous having you all with us. Please, if you haven't yet, do subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our upcoming discussions. Your support by sharing our channel across your networks, be it WhatsApp, Facebook, or over a casual chat, really helps us grow and continue bringing you great content. And we'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop us a comment below.
Absolutely, and remember, laughter is the best pit stop on a busy day. so keep tuning in for more chuckles and turbocharged discussions. We're here daily, bringing you all the twists and turns of the racing world. And who knows? Next time, we might just have another intriguing twist to discuss. So, keep your seatbelts fastened.
We're immensely grateful for your company today and look forward to having you back for the next installment of F1 Motor Fever podcast.
And don't forget, whether you're a newbie to the sport or a seasoned F1 aficionado, there's always something new on the horizon here.
Pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold. Cheers, and see you next time.